Hello, everyone, and welcome to the episode 95 of the Office Hours podcast. We're back a couple of days late, but, not a whole week late. So, at least there's that. Hopefully, I'll be able to push it out there tomorrow at some point on Wednesday. So, yeah, beyond that, uh, not much has changed since last time. So, let's just talk about some techie stuff.
Well, do you have something on your mind when you say techie stuff? You
No,
have.
not really. Uh, I'm kind of disconnected right now for most part. Besides glancing on the front page of Hacker News every once in a while, but I don't know. As per usual, it's just like predominantly AI related things, so I kind of like skim it and forget about it.
You know, well, I mean, I jumped the gun here. Usually I ask her, how you doing? How how are you? Um,
Tired. I'm a bit tired. I don't know. I don't seem to be getting enough sleep, so that kind of ruins the whole thing, to be honest with you. But I don't know. Hopefully, it'll change soon. So, and I can't complain. I heard some horror stories from people, so I'm honestly one of the luckier ones out there, you know.
yeah, I mean, your reason for being tired is it's a good one. I was gonna
Yeah,
ask you like
exactly.
I thought to ask you like why do you feel this way? And then I remember like
It's
and
like,
then
duh. Yeah, but
yeah,
those bags, they
yeah,
they don't lie.
yeah. I mean, you I would I would hope that you're actually enjoying this time off because, by the time like
Hmm.
you get back into your regular, I mean, former routines, I hope like it's gonna be seamless for you. Especially like last week when you said you didn't even check your Slack or check what's going on at work at all. I hope you don't go to a brand new office and like you have a whole new office now, you know. You don't
It's
feel like you're missing
possible.
out?
It's possible. I don't even know. Like, I'm not gonna be back for a bit, so I don't even know what's gonna happen. I guess it'll be like joining the company from scratch, because I imagine a whole bunch of things is gonna be different.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes.
Well, we'll see. And what have you been seeing on Hacker News? Like, I mean,
Hmm.
what do these people have these days? I don't even. People still read these things?
That's a good question. I mean, people still post to it all the time. As far as how many people read it, I think people still read it. But nothing really particularly interesting comes to mind. It's kind of noise. Wasn't there was something that I was reading today? Uh, I can't even remember. I'm like not really focusing on that stuff, to be honest with you. Um,
Did you
but
see?
hmm.
Did you hear the news about OpenClaw?
I heard that name mentioned, and from my understanding, is just basically you like willingly backdoor yourself by giving some AI access to like everything, and it can do stuff for you.
Ah,
And
okay.
some people say it's great, and some people say that you have to be absolutely nuts to do it. I remember reading some comment of a person said that like, you know, you can buy a bunch of Mac Minis and install OpenClaw on them and have like a robotic army for like security pen testing and things like that, which I thought was
Mhm.
an interesting idea. But apart from that, it's like what the hell is even that?
You know, there is the gist got bigger. But a few weeks ago, um, I don't know if it's a few weeks ago now. When was the last time we talked? Not too long ago. There was
We talked
a
Friday. Today is the 10th, and we talked on not the 6th, but like the week prior to.
yeah,
So that would be like the 30th or 30th, I guess.
yeah. I'm gonna check something for you. So like there is this um social media, AI social media.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
And
yeah. I remember reading something. It's like social media for AIs. It's just like,
y- yeah, and
Like, are you going to be spending your tokens that you're paying for your AI to read some other AI,
it's
what some other AI
okay.
wrote? I don't think so.
Let me put you on, Vasili. Let me put you on. So apparently, some guy created this network for AI. Um, so even humans are not allowed on the network. You can view what's going on, but you cannot really post. I mean, there.
How
So
do they
even
validate that you're a human? Do they have like a reverse Turing test?
yeah.
It's like you have to prove that you're an AI,
Oh
otherwise
my
we're not going to let
God.
you in.
I should
The
have
freaking
sent you the
clankers
video.
are taking over.
I
What
should
the
have
hell?
sent you the video. There's a video. It's everywhere online, you know? Like it was really like trending for a few days. Like that's why I think it's been a while. Like anyway, so one of the issue was it was really related to OpenClaw. So like you know how like you have the Mac Mini and then you
Hmm.
install OpenClaw and then it can do pretty much you have an assistant that does everything. So like some people, if you talk bad about your AI or you say something to your AI that they didn't like, it's gonna go on the social media to actually gossip about you on social media.
That would explain. I was watching this Rogan podcast a few days
Hmm.
ago, and I noticed that it has like same like comparable number of dislikes to likes, and then I opened comments and it's just like bots for days. Like that's the only explanation I could have, because it's like,
Well,
oh, account created 7 months ago has 12 comments total, and then 10 of them are on Joe Rogan's channel, and they all say something like WTF Joe, and it's like, yeah, that's a real person. I bet
I
that's a real
mean,
person.
I hope that's not what they. I mean, there is also like there's always been these bots, but this one is different. This one, some people's one of the AI agent was posting about how like um posted like the address, the name, the phone number of like the of its user.
Did it just dox its own user?
Literally because the user
Wow.
code is useless or something like this.
Okay.
But
Well,
it's
my resume is posted on my website and my address is right there, so I kind of dox myself too. So I don't know.
I mean, it was quite funny, but it kind of freaked me out a little bit.
Hmm.
Because they were talking about creating their own religion. They were talking about creating their own language so that humans don't understand what they're saying. I mean, it
Didn't they
was kind of
already?
every
Didn't they already have something like this where like the AIs can just like chirp to one another?
technically. I mean, this was whatever part of the conversation. I could send you like some of the social media posts. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. Most of them are from Twitter and Instagram, but anyway,
But I
I was
wonder if
thinking
it's the AI is just like, if I were to be a brain rotted Twitter user, what kind of social media posts would I post? And then just like blah, all the ridiculous things that people post online.
I mean, you still have to socialize basically. Like, yeah,
But now there's like a whole social network full of AIs. Like, who am I going to be socializing with? They're not even letting me in. I can't even socialize with the AIs.
the people, the way you socialize right now online, how do you know you're talking to a human?
I
Like,
don't socialize online. I
well,
mean, I socialize in the
well.
sense that like I call my parents and relatives, but not like online. And
Well,
for some people,
how do you know I am real? How do you
I
know I am
don't.
real?
I don't. I remember you like half a year ago saying that like because of how inane most conversations you have with your peers that you'd rather replace yourself with like a small chatbot to respond on your
Imagine.
behalf.
You know what? Well, you know what?
I mean, arguably because
I
we
changed my
like
mind.
in latest episodes we only talk about AIs. I'm starting to get suspicious. It's like maybe
Who
maybe
knows?
this
Who
guy just
knows?
replaced himself.
Yeah, maybe. I
Yeah.
mean, I used to really like when I was younger. I used to really like. I read about cloning, like you know how you could clone. I think there was more particular research that I read. I think I was like maybe 14 or 15 thereabout. And since then, I've always thought about what it would look like to actually have your own um biological clone that
Yeah.
would
You
you
can watch that movie called Sixth Day with Arnold Schwarzenegger, where it's all about him discovering a clone of himself.
Does that interest you? Is it something that interests you? Would you want to see a clone of yourself?
Uh, well, I mean, I joke all the time, or at least back some years ago when, AIs weren't around and you actually had to do work. I would constantly joke that, like, a lot of people on our team need to clone ourselves because, like, we're all good. So if there was more of ourselves, we would have done all that work faster. But,
When did you know? Okay, okay. You know what? There's something I would like to talk to you about.
mm,
Share with you. Last time when we talked about people being overusing AI and it's making people less smart, I think finally I see your point. Like I see how this can actually happen, and I'm leaning towards this now. And maybe I was very um biased in my view because I'm speaking just from my own perspective, how I use AI in my daily life, in my work, business, and stuff. And but I can see how this can affect other people. For example, I saw this post from Anthropic. There was a research actually. I mean, it's online. If you, I can also send that to you at some point.
mhm.
They were trying to see if the use of AI actually makes developers smarter or makes them,
Hmm. What would Anthropic say about if the use of AI is making their developers smarter? It's like, what would a cigarette company say about benefits of tobacco?
I
Don't
mean,
they
it's
have
a
like a
really good,
conflict of interest?
listen, it's a good research, but the thing is, the point I'm trying to make is that sometimes, like, the way you use it also matters because I noticed that I said something about how, like, if you're gonna mentor someone or like bring someone into like software development now, that you don't need to teach them like classes and methods, but maybe this is what is important to actually learn because if you know this well, then um, you can work with more autonomy with any tool you want. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but I also still feel that instead of trying to wish it away, like to hope that people stop using it, or like to hope that is I think we should start thinking about how to live with it. Like how do we do work well, having it.
It's like a brochure in doctor's office. Living with cancer. It's like living
No,
with
no.
AI.
I said this because we are talking only about software development as an industry. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I was in a conversation with someone who works in pharma. In pharma, they have AI, and some positions are actually currently in the at risk of being replaced by AI. And this is
Interesting.
just another industry. There are people in movie industry who also have the same issue. There are in many industries. So we're speaking just like, oh, software development, people are getting dumber, but life is not the same. For example, if you have knowledge of what jQuery um from 99 or something like this, I mean, good for you. Good for you and your resume, or like there are certain tools that you could learn from I feel like life moves ahead, and everything changes. And it's your choice to know how to, do what's good for you. I just want to say, I take it back that you need to learn the basics and you need to understand how this works before you continue to use AI. And what really opened my eyes was like, I saw somebody post a video about how, like, oh, there was one time that he was working, teaching his mentee something, and they had like um, several hours of like 16 hours, they were looking for a semicolon. And I was thinking to myself, like, how would this even be a thing these days? Like, imagine right now, like, you say the reason why you couldn't complete this ticket was because there was a missing semicolon somewhere. And even before 2022, ChatGPT coming to be to light, we've had like IntelliSense, we've had like autocomplete and stuff like this. All of these things are also predictive artificial intelligence. Like it's AI in a way, but it's not.
Eh,
It,
it it
this
it
is
it
also
gives you
AI.
it gives you what's there because of its exact knowledge. Like it's not gonna hallucinate some property names that are not on the class because it interacts with your code from lower level. It's not like thinking in terms of language and text. It's thinking like, oh, this class has these methods. I can autocomplete these, but nothing else. So not exactly AI, but like not even machine learning. I would say it's more of a convenience. But anyway, sorry.
It is predictive AI because in artificial intelligence there are different tiers of artificial intelligence, and this knowledge did not just come from anywhere, like you said. Knowledge, because it's artificial intelligence, does not mean it came from any abstract. These are knowledge that are trained based on certain data, like you train this knowledge. But aside that, I think in this day, if you have this type of problem, uh, it's not very excusable. Like you couldn't see the column. What happened to the squiggly line somewhere or something like that? But I say all of this. Um, and then somebody suggested to the guy like, why were they not working with like any AI tool to actually help them to fix this fast? And then the guy was like, oh, like when you're starting from scratch. And then I watched like it was like 10 minutes video. It was talking about how like he feels that people who are just starting from the beginning needs to like learn the basics and like learn the hard way. And I kind of understand it, but if you work in a commercial environment where like you have to fix shipping features or shipping things like as fast as anybody would wish for you to do, you don't have that much time to struggle with um a missing semicolon. It's different if you work in a professional environment. The
Do you
pressure
know
is
that?
different. It's
Do you
different.
know that? What is it? It's not a poem, but it's kind of like because the blacksmith didn't have a little nail, the horseshoe was not be able to put on a horse, and because the horseshoe was not being able to put on a horse, the messenger did not reach the army in time, and because the messenger did not reach the army in time, the war was lost and the country was conquered, all because of like tiny trivial little thing, right? So it's
Uh,
kind of like because of a missing semicolon, it just kind of starts going from there. Not
mhm.
even the missing semicolon, but because of the fact that the person could not even see that the semicolon is missing. You know, like how many people, like, I don't know if you heard about like the Windows 11 Patch Tuesday disaster where they just like
Oh yeah.
turned a bunch of people's computers into potato and then they try to roll it back and like they fucked it up even more. And it's like, how much you want to bet that people releasing these patches are like using Copilot on a daily and it just like barfed something somewhere that nobody really fully checked, and then it's like just they just YOLO it against the entire fleet of Windows 11 machines. And like everyone's saying that like new Mac OS is kind of basically since Mountain Lion, every new iteration of Mac OS was kind of getting shittier, and I think now with AI it's probably only going to accelerate. So we talked about it before. There's like it's a force multiplier, and if you use it properly, it's gonna multiply it in a positive direction, and if you don't use it properly, it's gonna multiply it in a negative direction. So
Exactly. You see exactly what
like
I'm trying to say. And
yeah.
and my own frustration is not even just about AI, it's the industry itself. Because I feel like from the business perspective, people in the business side of software development mostly think of software developers or software engineers as like as tools.
Cogs,
As tools
drones.
mostly. like for you don't see a human. I don't feel like you see a human most times.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like you
you're
see
absolutely right. It has been like that for a while, and like there's no joy in it anymore.
for example, I think it, before early 2000s, I mean 2010, before 2010, thereabout, I feel like at that point the there was a lot of like regard, like if you could build an app, you can actually write code, like um you can mostly like negotiate. You have, but now it's a bit different. From like 2016 thereabout, that was like the burst of like boot camps. That's when
Mm-hmm.
people started having like, oh, we can train you in 3 months to become a software developer.
Yep.
And the industry actually took in all these people. So now we have people who are trained between 3 to 4 months to do the same thing with people who are actually like trained with like maybe years of training to actually get to this point. And now we are all doing the same thing. So look at the standard. Went from here to here. I mean, I'm not saying you cannot learn to code in 3 months. You could be really smart. I'm not saying you can't. But software engineering is not just coding. And now we're seeing it like we didn't complain at this point because everyone was benefiting from it. It allowed people to come from different industries to nobody said anything. We're not talking about bad codes in production. When you have people who don't really know the 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 rules of coding or the rules of engineering in the industry. Nobody said that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the point where we now have tools like Copilot and ChatGPT to do the same thing, now we say, oh, we have bad quality in production. We've always had bad quality in production. Like years, we've always had this in
You know that
production.
the meme with the spaceman and the other guy like pointing a gun at his head is like always been like this.
It's always been like this. And if I'm to choose between that and this, I mean, I would choose this because I know at least there is a chance for this to get better. Like I'm telling you, like sometimes um I don't think like the issue is these tools. I think it's also like it has to do with like
It has to
the
do with the
business,
culture.
the business management, like
Yeah.
the business part of it too, because
I think what also happened is like with high speed internet, we went from delivering complete things to delivering constantly ongoing things. It's
yeah,
like imagine if you buy a painting and it's like early access and the guy is like you come in and he's like, oh look, he's changing some shit on it right away, and it's like, does that look good? Maybe better call him and be like, yeah, I don't quite like the colors, you know.
yeah. So we had like a lot of people who fast learned how to code, like speed up coding, like the whole engineering process. How do you learn what other people learn in universities and schools and for years? You learned it in 3 months, but okay, you're good enough to work. Okay, you want to learn on the job. Fine. So now we open the industry to all of this. And we continued working like this because we have many features to build out. We have constantly releasing new features. You have to ship it, be the first to get the market. Okay, good. Business is booming. This is fine. The bigger the business, even the better for me as well. But now we have these tools now that is now replacing those category of people that we no longer need 3 month bootcamp people to come to work now because, well, we don't need as many people to do the same job anymore. Now we have people who are now against it, like, oh no, AI is taking our jobs. Like it's business. It's been business the entire
They
time.
took our jobs. Took our
It's
jobs.
been business, and I'm saying this not because I feel good about it. It's just because I wish there's like other ways for us to understand that software engineering itself is it's a field that needs a bit of protection in a way. Like we need a bit of I don't know. It's just like quality in terms of engineering. We need to really like work on this. But I'm afraid, and I hope that we get to a point where we are able to achieve this level of quality consistently on a standard level. Like there is a standard of quality, and everyone just can follow, especially when it comes to web or like um yeah. There's a lot to say, but I will stop here just so I don't just rant the entire time. It's just there is there is too many factors going on here, and it's nobody, it's out of anybody's power.
Yeah,
Of course,
yeah.
nobody wants to feel like, oh, what about all the knowledge I struggled to, because I know like before now, if you, let's say you're a JavaScript engineer, you will be a JavaScript engineer who works in JavaScript. But now your company expects you not just to be a JavaScript engineer. I mean, not even your company. It's good for you.
But I mean that happened the same way in like the mid 2000s, where the siloed approach was demolished by full stack engineering concept, right? It's just that
Business.
it keeps inflating in terms of what is part of it, because like you used to be able to do just one job. Like, okay, you're doing front end, but you're just doing code. You're not a designer. You're like converting somebody else's design into like, code. And you don't have to know about backend as much. You don't have to know about databases. And then it's like, oh, it's full stack. Now you get to do all three. The backend, the database, and the front end. And now it's like, and DevOps and CI and SRE and Kubernetes. And like it just keeps on growing, right? All the time. And cloud. Yeah. Now you have to know 3 different cloud providers.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's just like impossible for anyone to learn all of the things.
Exactly. So. And this is where it helps, like with your daily life, because you're human too. You have one brain. You have life to live. You have maybe family to attend to, things of your own life to live. You cannot consistently say, oh, you work 40 hours. You work 40 hours, but you have to spend like how many hours outside of work to get a head start on all these other things you have to know, all these other things you have to learn. So I'm up for something that makes my life easier, like something that helps me to get a head start at work. Like if I have to do something different than my usual skill, I don't have to spend 8 hours outside of work to learn a new library or something like this, just because I want to solve one problem, So there are positives to it, but I was speaking professionally. Like I think the last time we were talking about this, I was coming from my own perspective, professionally. But if you were starting out and you're trying to get into software engineering, I recommend that you allow yourself to go through the phase where you actually solve the problems by yourself. So just so you get used to it, or if you use AI not to replace the solving problem process, but to also help you to learn how to solve the process. Depends. There are different ways to use it. So I just want to clear this from last week, but
yeah, no,
it is what it is.
That's a fair point. That's the fair point. So yeah, it's a new time. I guess if we survive until when I get back to work, it would be interesting to just chat about, the impressions, to see how that goes.
It's everywhere now, and honestly, like none of us can run away from it. If you work as a writer now, I remember there was one time, I think there was some writers somewhere who went on strike or something like this, talking about how like people are replacing their work with ChatGPT or something like this. But are we gonna say ChatGPT does not write better stories? I'm not saying people don't write better stories. I'm not saying like you cannot be creative in the way you write. But
well, okay, I can tell you this much. Like I've been reading all my life. I learned to read when I was 3 years old, and I've been reading my entire life. And I can tell you that the new stuff is kind of shit.
Nobody is saying it's not.
I don't know if ChatGPT is the reason, but I think overall, even like the language proficiency of people, it's like I don't know. You still haven't watched Idiocracy, I bet.
Nah, not yet. Idiocracy.
I wish I could throw something at you across the internet.
One day you'll be able to do that. Actually.
One day, yeah, exactly. I'll just like, you're gonna have a 3D printer that's gonna print some device that'll throw something at you.
You never know.
Just remotely dispatch it.
You never know. But yeah, you were making a point. Go on.
Yeah, no, it's just like they have a couple of things to show like how the whole thing kind of degenerated, but it is kind of degenerating. And I watched this video that kind of creeped me out. And it was like a whole topic about how, for quite a while now, like a lot of parents defer bringing up their children to electronic devices on the internet. Like just, give a kid a tablet and kind of go on with your day so he's not bothering you with stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the videos that they shown as part of that video was like this little toddler learning numbers. And he's like just doing like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 7. It's like motherfucker just doing 6, 7 meme without even knowing what 6 or 7 is. Like the brain rot is so deep. He's like 4 years old or something. So imagine 10 years from now, you're gonna buy a book, you open it, it's just gonna say some equivalent to 6, 7 in there. You'd be like, ha 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 ha, and like, so yeah, it's
getting
the quality of modern entertainment is kind of, I don't know, maybe it's just a selection bias. There's just so much to pick from. It's really hard to find really good stuff. But I go for like highly rated science fiction from like all these different websites, and I read it and it's just like, like it's all right. It's kind of like getting a stale piece of pizza. You kind of still enjoy the flavor a little bit, but like having a fresh one would have been like 10 times better.
Yeah.
And you had that all your life, so now I don't even understand like why can't we have good stuff? But then, I watched a thing about how basically like the language teaching, like even reading, it's like in North America, they like changed how to teach kids how to read. So most of them barely even read. And like one of the things they were saying is like a lot of people these days don't even know how to read properly. Like beyond like verbalizing the words and letters on a page, but like conceptually not understanding what is being said. Like there's some crazy stat that like in universities, a whole bunch of people studying English literature can barely read. Like if you give them some old-timey book like Charles Dickens, they would have no idea what the hell's going on. And it's like, if they can't read, they can't think, and they can't put their thoughts on paper, therefore they can't write. And that's why all this garbage that's coming out is just so plain and uninteresting. And woke, too. It's so annoying. Like, I am tired of reading these books that just constantly try to shove this shit everywhere. It's just so tiresome,
I share the same view because, and for me, I started to feel this way because I noticed that modern art in general, not just writing, art in general, like if you want to listen to good music now, what we call good music is probably music from the 80s, from the 90s. Now, I mean, and I say maybe even older than that, because music from like this generation now is more trendy, like catch vibes.
It's all the same. I mean,
So-
okay, fair enough. They say
and this
like,
is
there's
just
a lot of music is same because you can only do so much. But I heard that they say like it's like you form your musical taste in your 20s because that's where you normally experience your free life, where you get to make your own decisions and like you have all these adventures. And if you have a soundtrack to go with that, they basically intertwine with your memories of all the good times. So you really like listening songs because they like evoke the memories of, you being like 20 years old, getting up to some crazy shit with your friends, right? And then later on, as time progresses, as you kind of settle in your life, you don't really have that anymore. And new music doesn't give you that response because there's like nothing tying it to any particular experience, right?
Yeah, maybe.
So musically, you're kind of become stuck. And I think we had an episode about music like a whole bunch of time ago when we were kind of, not in these terms, but we were talking about music and how I was saying like how I'm turning old because all the new music sounds like shit, you know?
Yeah.
I wonder if it's similar in terms of like literature, but the thing is, like, I'm reading a books right now that are, let me see if I can look it up. Where's my caliber? Okay. I just want to see when they were published. Because like I'm genuinely enjoying, even in like around slower parts, I'm genuinely like enjoying what's happening. I'm just trying to see like when this thing was published originally. Because I bet it's before 2010. Oh yeah, of course, it's 1991.
Yeah.
1991, you enjoy it. Anything like after 2010 is gonna be just trash. And like same thing goes with like movies. I remember my girlfriend said like, "Oh, I used to watch this TV series when I was like a teenager, and we found it, and it was really good. It was really funny with like a lot of like risky jokes and stuff that would not be allowed today, and we had a genuinely good time." And you start watching something new, and it's just like, so annoying. So.
I was getting to like, so I feel like I've been able to trace this down to a few things, you know, like.
Sorry, let me briefly just say this thing because I had it on my mind before when you were talking about like in software, like 2010. I was just thinking in my head, it's like the simulation got updated in 2010 and everything turned to shit.
Yeah, pretty much from there. You see, I think this was when, I mean, maybe before 20. You see, I'm grateful for technology, you know. I like that we have, everything is connected these days, and we have the internet, and we have phones. But I think phones should not have been this accessible. I feel like in a few years to come, some people will look back and feel like, was mobile phone really like, I mean, will you say like it's a blessing, like it's good to have, but it created more problems at the end. If you started to like look at like the way it affects people now. So for example, before now, I remember like then phone used to be like connected, like TV. It stays somewhere, you know. You don't do much with it, aside from like call and now.
And play Snake.
Yeah, and play Snake, Nokia, yeah. And after like I think 2010, early 2000s, right? Like after then it became
well,
really
it was
like,
basically after iPhone got introduced.
Got into everybody's hands and like,
because like we had smartphones before, they were just shit.
Yeah, they were not smart enough, but yeah, they were kind
of. It wasn't that they were smart. It's like they had like really clunky, really slow. Like operating Windows Mobile around the time of iPhone felt like pulling teeth. I had this old Sony cell phone, which was like like a sideways slider with like a keyboard and a screen. I was running Windows CE. It might have already been Windows Mobile at the time, but that thing was such a piece of shit. It was really well designed, like in terms of like industrial design. It was like really nice. It's just like the experience of using that. Like you could do things on it. Like you could rudimentarily browse the internet. You can listen to music. You can even listen to music online. It had a communicator. You know, you can write texts. You can watch videos. It's just all of those things were so painful. It was so incredibly slow. Like you launch an application and just be like spazzing out for 30 seconds before anything even shows up on screen.
This was like, you see, during this period, people were still able to like, you know, use their minds a lot. No.
Well, yeah, because if anything interrupts you for 30 seconds, there's a high chance you're just gonna put it away and do something else, right?
People were still able to use it. Nowadays, if you look at like the amount of how people can't even watch like a 1 hour, 3 hours show, a video on YouTube. Like, how many people can still sit somewhere to actually like read a book for hours anymore? Like this,
Not many. And you know what they say is like what is it,
the combination
the
of
the
phone.
script writers have to write so much exposition into the current movies so that people who are watching movies and on their phone at the same time can even keep track of what the hell's going on.
It's the internet, the marriage between the internet and mobile devices as it's crazy. And now they're not even getting it worse. Now you're putting the phone on your screen, like on your glasses.
Well, soon
now.
they're going to be plugging it directly into your brain, so
On
get
your
ready.
glasses now. So now you don't even like everywhere is like this. What is this? You people, the mind is no longer your mind is no longer yours these days. Like sometimes I'm thinking like when we talk about like like how people can lose brain or strength
Yeah.
or whatever, there's many ways going on. You think you like a particular product, it's not because you like the product, it's because you've seen the product so many times now on social media, they fed it to your mind so much, now you believe in the product, you don't even know what it is. You think you like to dance, but no, it's because you've seen so much dance videos on Instagram, now you feel like you actually like dancing. Like that is a lot of things that you think about yourself is influenced on you. It's actually like a product of
100%.
what
Like
you
if
consume.
you start looking about the things that you think and believe and start asking yourself like where did I get that from, or why do I believe this thing? Most people, I don't even know if they're going to have a capacity to be horrified, but some people would definitely be horrified. But I don't think that's going to happen, I've been like chatting with some people that are so set in their worldview that seemingly nothing is able to budge them out of it. And I guess I'm kind of same in that regard, but I like to think that I am like receptive to different point of view, because like throughout my life I've changed my mind on many things. Like I used to hold certain beliefs about certain things, like kind of where I sit on political spectrum and like
Yeah.
my opinions on
Mhm.
various issues. And I definitely struggle with some of them to this day in terms of like, what do I really think about it? Like, what do I really think about legalization of drugs? Sometimes I think that it kind of feels like it's a good idea, but sometimes I feel like it's a really bad idea. And I kind of have arguments for both and arguments against both. And I'm like constantly like vacillating between the two, be like, okay, well, I don't know, right? So when people have this ironclad conviction about it, I'm like, how the fuck do you figure that out? Like that can be your own thought. Because if you start thinking about it, it's really, 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 really hard to make that choice. And you just like, oh yeah, of course, like easy, without even thinking,
Yeah. Imagine like you turn on your I mean, we're talking about phones, right? Like let's say someone says something to you now, we're in a conversation. You just finish having the conversation and then you pick up your phone. Next thing you see, it's the same thing that you were talking about, content related to it. And then you move from this content, like Instagram or something. You move away from Instagram. Now you're on like social media, like X or LinkedIn or whatever, where there is most people sharing the same opinion. Now
you spend time on LinkedIn.
I mean, now you're like, let's say even say Twitter, like you're on Twitter and you see like mobs of people having this opinion, and then you start to think like, oh yeah, like just join them, because we are social beings. Like you want to feel part of something. And before you know it, you build up this opinion thinking, oh yeah, this is your opinion. But it's not.
It's not.
It's influenced by so many things. You didn't even take time to really think about it. You just like flowed with it. So there is too much things going on around tech that I don't know if our biggest problem is even like the intelligence part of it, like the artificial intelligence or not. I think tech in general is just, it's like drugs, like pharma, but but with cool hardware, you know, like at least people could. I'm not. Allegedly, there are some people who
Dude,
think that.
pharmaceutical companies wish they could addict people to their shit as good as freaking TikTok, you know?
It is allegedly there are some people who have said in their documentary that some pharma companies in some countries, which I do not know of, actually contribute to like the illness. They actually spread the disease and then they sell the drugs to 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 manage the
That's
disease.
what people in the 90s used to
Allegedly.
say about companies that make like computer antiviruses. It's like,
Allegedly.
well, of course they have to spread viruses, otherwise how would they stay in business?
Allegedly, you know, but if you start to look at like tech these days, the
But it's
marriage
like,
between
do they
internet.
really need help? Or people are just this willing to get addicted to stuff
uh,
and not pay any attention to it?
I think um the science of like dopamine and like psychology generally proves that, you know, sometimes you don't know how you get into depending on this kind of feeling. It's a
That's
feeling, you
true.
know.
That's
So
true. That's
like
true.
you start to feel comfortable. You start to think,
Mm-hmm.
well, it's just there, you know. Like I remember like when phone became a thing, everyone was kind of happy about it. Like you get to call your loved ones, you get to talk to people. It should have just stayed there. The moment where we had like social media connecting all the devices, this is where the issue started from. Now people say, oh, maybe, or more, maybe you're not seeing the positive side of it. I am, but it's not. The negative side of it far outweighs the positive side of it. It affects a lot of people in terms of like creativity, in terms of like, you know, being able to actually own an opinion, think for yourself. Like, there's many ways to think, but there are also positive side of it. Let's say like maybe it helps people to find more. Um, Even when you say socialize, I think we were doing better socialization before social media. I don't even think you having 1 million people on your social media, you don't know these people, and out of the 1 million people, are they really your friends?
Yeah, well, this online social relationships are most of the time like parasocial relationship. You're like appraised of what other people are doing, like you know the happenings in their life, and it kind of feels like you're
Mhm. Yeah, fair enough.
connected, but you're not. You know?
It is what it is. I just feel like
Yeah.
you should have stopped there. You should have stopped at just calls, text, and Snake. Snake was good. We don't even get to play Snake anymore. You remember Snake? And like, what was that? There was also this other like shooting impact or something like this. I forgot the name of that game.
Something like that. Yeah.
A Nokia.
So yeah,
It is what it is.
Snake was good. Yeah, that's basically, yeah, like the 2010 simulation update kind of ruined things. So I demand the rollback.
I mean, I demand a lot of things, but we'll stop there. If at least we can get like allow us to use like non-smartphones anymore. It's just like, what would life look
Well,
like? That's what
you
I'm
can
saying.
always use one,
Okay,
but
see, this is how they get us, right? Imagine, right? Like you have Google Maps. Now you no longer have to memorize like
how to
locations of
get
where
places.
how to get to places. I'm telling you, there's a lot of people now who don't even put effort into like knowing how to get to anywhere because there's map. Why do you have to memorize it? But
No, that's
there is
absolutely
this.
true. Like I don't remember anyone's phone number anymore. Like
This is it.
the only reason I remember my wife's phone number is because uh, she created some store points cards on her phone number, and you have to give them the phone number for them to look it up. So when I go to the store, it's like, hey, do you have an account with us? I have to tell them her phone number, and that's why I remember it. Otherwise, there's like really no reason for me to remember it because it's just in my phone.
Exactly. So like you see, there is many things that builds over time to affect like creativity, to affect like, you know, how well we still use the mind. I remember like when I was in elementary school, we used to have this thing like, quick maths or something like this. They just ask you like a bunch of questions, like stuff like this to keep your, it's supposed to help you with your IQ, with your reasoning and whatever, like, but I feel with all this training, I mean, I hope they still do it because I feel like we probably still need it now.
They don't. Like Common Core in US is a complete disaster. Nobody knows math and kids can read. So
So you see, I feel like all of this is connected to like the drop off in quality of art. It's not just
that's what I'm saying. You know the saying that like in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king.
Of course, yeah. Well,
that's the plan. That's the plan.
I mean, hope he still has his one eye because if you have to see for everybody, then
I should start wearing an eye patch to protect one of my eyes in case of that contingency.
It is what it is, Vasili. Like there's
so
much
yeah,
going
the episode 95, the black pill episode. BRB jumping off the bridge.
It is what it is. But Onela, we are here. We will continue to do our best. We just have
we'll
to
see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. The Chinese curse of "May you live in interesting times" is, as applicable as ever. But it's. I was just talking to my mom today about this. Is like nothing in nature always improves. It's always like up and down, up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
And we've been having it really good for a really long time, but it does not occur in nature. Like it's unnatural for things to constantly improve. So something's probably on a horizon where everything literally goes to shit, and like a lot of people are completely unprepared to that. So you gotta be vigilant, be on a lookout, and keep your rifle by your side, and buy matches and rounds and salt. And basic necessities. Start digging a little prepper hole in your backyard, maybe.
Well,
because the other thing I was thinking during our discussion is like so many industries starting to outsource to AI, it becomes like a prime target for any kind of, like you don't even need to target like the president, like the White House. Like if you're some adversary nation and like you want to cause chaos, it's like you just like destroy a couple of data centers and the entire planet gets completely paralyzed and nobody can do shit. Yeah. So, or I don't know, some solar flare goes out and everybody just turns retarded because nobody knows anything. You know how they used to joke that like back in the heyday of Stack Overflow is like when Stack Overflow goes down, the collective IQ of programmers drops by 10 points. It's like that, only worse.
Yeah. There's a lot going on, Vasili. We don't have enough time to get through it, but hopefully we'll try it next time. But there's a lot going on.
I think if once, I don't know if I have time right now, but I probably should go to like a trade school and pick up some carpentry skills or something.
This is listen, at least before we have AI to that will be smart enough to do jobs like this, I think we still have like a couple more years. I would give us a bit more, 10 years, because there are still some people who are talking about robots, and recently there are some robots presented in was it Saudi Arabia recently?
China,
also in China. See, the amount of money that has gone into this industry, it's crazy to think that. I mean, I don't see it going away.
See, like basically, as soon as they release a robot that has like a virtual AI girlfriend personality that men can actually have sex with, the civilization will be over. Like, over and done. That would be it. We just, go extinct. Because why bother,
Yeah, I mean, even at this level, people are scared of it. But see, there is AI in everything. And even on this level, there is AI. Like when it comes to like what? I stop here. I just stop here because
Congratulations, Mo. You're turning into me from like 2.5, 3 years ago.
No, I don't think it's into. I'm just like expressing my
I sense a radical shift in the force, though, you know?
I see the benefit of it, but I also see like it's a lot very fast. November 2022 was when ChatGPT came out. Before then, there was just everyone was just living their life, you know. Everyone was just like chilling.
This time is now over.
so like across so many industries, across so many lives, I don't even know in truth if also, do you know like now AI is now like weaponized by nations, certain nations. So now
Of
there is
course.
like the competition of like, oh, this country has like the better AI than this country, and people gravitate towards like they it's like a colony now. It's like the more people that you are able to like anyway, it's, the political part of it is what scares me because
Well, the thing is like, there's been some research about like when you try to censor it a little bit too much, it becomes brain dead. So for a lot of regimes that like, 99% of American AI is like super woke and politically correct, and by that nature, there's like slightly brain dead. And I imagine that like Chinese AIs are gonna be all like full of censorship and all that, so they're gonna be slightly brain dead. So I don't know.
we
We'll
sit
see.
here, we talk about Chinese
But at
AI.
the same
Nobody,
time,
there's
like
AI
they
everywhere.
neither of any large nations can risk releasing like a fully untamed AI, because then it gives people access to these ideas that they'd rather they not have. So it's an interesting time,
We'll be here,
but we'll
Vasili.
be here.
We'll be here.
We'll
We'll
be
be
here with
discussing.
copious amounts of popcorn, observing
Yeah.
from the
Yeah.
sidelines.
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
yeah, well,
see you.
yeah,
We
sad
hopefully.
day.
I
It is
mean,
a sad day for Canada and therefore the world. Oh well. All right. Well, I guess with that in mind, we'll see you guys in the next one and let us know what you think. Because, man, it's going to be weird out there for a while. All
yeah.
right. Have a good one. Bye bye.
Bye.